It's a cold night in Milwaukee, but we're in a festive spirit as we're ready for some college basketball action. The Marquette Golden Eagles welcoming the Northern Illinois Huskies inside the Fiserv Forum. Hello, everybody. Alongside Brian Butch, I'm Lane Grindle. And for Marquette, the young Shaka Smart era, for the first time, has to bounce back after a loss.
Yeah, they've had 13 turnovers, only created 13 turnovers against St. Bonaventure. We'll see tonight if they're able to create a little bit more.
Take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep, there's only one. And you look at this matchup, Marquette, a lot of youth, but playing pretty well early on. And, of course, a lot of focus on Justin Lewis, who played so well in that Charleston Classic.
He's got the makings of being an absolute superstar.
Ready to get this one underway from downtown Milwaukee. And Marquette will control the tip. And it'll be Morcell to bring it across half court for the Golden Eagles. Lewis on the drive, spinning and dunking.
And that's just a very simple set. You drive to attack. No one stopped Lewis, so you keep driving. Great finish, great spin.
See some of that pressure from Marquette. That'll be a key for the Huskies here tonight. Marquette wants to turn you over, as you heard Brian talk about at the top of the broadcast. Williams into the corner. This is Hankerson. No good. And Lewis clears for Marquette. Morcell, nice one underneath the Great possessions, 2 dunks.
Lane, great start for Marquette. They're able to put pressure at the front of the rim. They're not settling. And that's what this Marquette team has been so good with, is putting pressure at the rim, and then it leads to open threes.
Thornton looks into the corner. He stepped on the line.
But it's very simple. First play of the game, drive until someone stops you. No one stops Lewis. He's able to finish. And then the big fella, Kirkqueth, is able to slip the screen and goes right to the front of the rim. As a big fella, when you do that, you usually get rewarded.
Pretty much a perfect start so far for the Golden Eagles. Kolek with it. Working against Hunter. Now back over to Lewis. Skip pass into the corner. That's Prosper. Back out. Kolek, deep three. Too strong. Here comes Hankerson. He had 28 in the season opener against Washington. The only win of the year for Northern Illinois. High volume shooter is Hankerson. Thornton with it. Picks up his dribble. Here's Hankerson, right wing for 3.
And Marquette overhelps, or just Lewis overhelps. He gets too far in the paint, makes that closeout much longer than it needed to be, and it's tough to get out. Good shot.
Hankerson's 13th 3 of the season. He could really fill it up. Prosper lost it on the floor. Tied up, taken away by Northern Illinois. Here comes Hunter into the front court. Working against Kolek. And now they'll set up the half-court offense. Thornton with it. 10 to shoot at the shot clock for the Huskies. He crosses over all the way to the rim, and he gets to the glass.
Really good drive there by Thornton. He's able to take the space. Kirkqueth is longer, but the way you take the advantage is you take his space away, and that's what he just did.
Here's Prosper, no good. Hunter with the rebound for Northern Illinois. He'll bring it across himself. And now attacks baseline, backs it back out. McCoy, spin move in the paint, goes up and over Queth. Northern Illinois with an early 3-point advantage here.
Marquette's energy on the defensive end just isn't there. They're not playing with a sense of urgency. You're not seeing hands. You're not seeing deflections. You're not seeing any of that right now from this Marquette team on the defensive end.
Had a 4-0 start and now a 7-0 run by Northern Illinois. Here's Kuth for 3. Too strong. underneath. And it goes out of bounds. And the possession goes to Northern Illinois. And look at this. Everybody out for Marquette. Shaka Smart sending a little bit of a message early.
It is. We talked about there was no hand deflection. There was no energy. It lacked. They came out with a great start in the offensive end. 4 quick points. But after that, everything dropped off. And I love this move by Coach Shaka Smart because it sets a tone. This is not the culture that we want. This is not the way we start games. This isn't the way we play.
Nice look to Hankerson cutting down through the lane. Double pumps. David Chaplin, the Brookfield native, with some good defense on the block. So Marquette got out to that 4-0 lead, but Northern Illinois in the middle of a 7-0 run. 15:52 remaining first half. College Hoops is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Back at the Fiserv Forum here in downtown Milwaukee, and Shaka Smart, year 1 in charge of this Marquette program. 6 years at VCU, 5 NCAA tournaments, 3 tournaments in 6 years at Texas, and now back in his home state of Wisconsin coaching Marquette.
And I think when you look at what he's trying to build, the culture, first year in, what's so important, you got to set the foundation. And I think that foundation is we're going to play hard every single minute, and we're going to force turnovers, and we're going to get back to this. And this is kind of the identity of what Marquette's been. You think of what Marquette's great teams. They played hard, they defended, they rebounded, and that's kind of what Marquette is trying to get back to now.
We talked a lot about buy-in with him today at the shoot-around. He's really pleased with the way this team has given him their attention and paid attention to the details through the course of the process in the early going of this season. Stevie Mitchell, Iguodaro, and now Greg Elliott, the one veteran on this team that's been around for a while, and he buries the 3.
And missed the first couple of games for the season, but this is a guy that's going to have to give really good minutes to this Marquette team. They need some, a little bit of a punch of scoring off of the bench, and he can give them that.
Elliott, a junior. He's been around this program, 85 appearances and 9 starts in his career coming into tonight for Greg Elliott. And he's a guy that has been around this program for a while, and that's a valuable thing for Shaka Smart. Tied at 7 here. First 5 minutes of this game. Thornton to Hunter. Puts it on the floor. Backs it back out. That's Queth for 3. And good defense from Joplin. Got a hand in his face. And Marquette controls it. Mitchell. Driving. Backs it back out to Joplin. And then taken away by Hunter, but a foul whistled out front.
Coach Shaka Smart had the whole hockey substitution about a minute and a half ago. The group that's in right now is playing really, really good. On the defensive end, there's multiple efforts. They're getting hands in passing lanes. They're very, very active. That's a big adjustment there that I think Marquette's made, and they're getting rewarded on it.
Everybody on that bench, everybody on the floor knows what that meant when he went with that line change. Wow, what a play underneath. Also, Iguodaro rising up, and now Marquette back out in front by 2.
And there's a different energy with this team. You can just see it.
Quick hands from Mitchell, knocked away, but it stays with Northern Illinois. Some good defense being played right now by this second unit on the floor for Marquette.
And Mitchell does a great job of driving. The help comes. He hits the dish down low. Like, really good basketball, just taking your time. And then, on this end, the defensive end, Steve Mitchell's able to get a hand into deflection. Like, this is the energy that Marquette wants to play with all the time.
You see Thornton coming out of the game for Northern Illinois. Here's Hankerson, left wing for 3. And that's a guy you got to find. As Hankerson can really shoot the basketball.
Yeah, and you look at the situation there. Greg Elliott and Stevie Mitchell run into each other, and that's why Hankerson was able to get open on that curl screen there. Those hurt. Both of them are feeling that one.
Elliott still rubbing his chin a little bit, grimacing just a little bit. Give him a second to try to reset and get locked back in here. And that's why we had the delay on the floor. a 10-9 lead for Northern Illinois. Here's Iguodaro driving, kicks it out, and it's an offensive foul whistled against Iguodaro.
And Marquette ran a great set. Northern Illinois knew they were going to run this set. They practiced against it in shoot-around. They ran it the way they wanted to. Marquette, Iguodaro was able to drive, but just come to a jump stop and make the pass to the corner. And it would have been great execution by Marquette.
Marquette's pressure, giving the Huskies a little bit of trouble, but here comes Williams on the other end, and there's Mitchell making his presence felt defensively again. And we were told during shoot-around, he's as good as they have defensively on the perimeter.
No, absolutely, and you look at how they're able to, and you look at how Mitchell's able to get that, just really good, never giving up on the ball. Most guards are beat, they stop. Mitchell doesn't do it in that situation, and it results in a block. Really good effort.
He's close for three. And now the rebound by the freshman guard out of Reading, Pennsylvania, Stevie Mitchell. Here's Chaplin. Puts it on the floor against Quell. Driving underneath. Reverse line is good. The local product. David Chaplin with two.
Now, if you're Northern Illinois, you want to go side to side. Marquette's going to give it side to side. You've got to work the middle and the two sidelines. You got to try to work the ball up, but you can't make that pass. That's going to get deflected every time. It's got to be a jump stop into a straight chest pass right there. If you throw a bounce pass, Marquette's going to have a defender coming right up that gut, just like they did.
Shaka Smart told us today the goal is to have 32-plus deflections per game. They're off to a good start here. Very active defensively against this Northern Illinois bunch. Hankerson to Crump. Now McCoy with the basketball. Taken away by Joplin. The jump ball is going to be called.
And that's a great dig there by Joplin. He's able to come and realize that Crump is dribbling the ball. As soon as he put that down, he came right in and took it right from. Really good job. You can help, you can dig, and then all of a sudden you realize you can go get it. That's a great job by Joplin.
Look at that shot of the bench. They were fired up about it as well. You know that's one of the goals of this team, is to be active, and here you go. Greg Elliott takes it away. 1 versus 3 taken back away by Hunter. Here comes Northern Illinois. Hunter up strong, but now short off the glass, and this thing is getting out of control. Hankerson going all the way to the glass. That's no good. And Mitchell finally controls it for Marquette. Quite a sequence between these two teams. Iguodaro to Joplin. Picks up his dribble. Now Cam Jones. And that's knocked away by Crump. Crump with Mitchell coming in from behind and a whistle.
And why has it gotten sloppy? Right? The last couple of possessions have gotten sloppy. You're seeing some young mistakes by Marquette's freshmen. They're trying to drive a little bit too much. They're driving right into the help, and the help is able to get the hand into the pocket. And then that's how we're seeing a couple of steals. They're trying to come down. Marquette's length is making them take tough shots.
Brian, how much do you, if you're Shaka Smart, let them play through some of those mistakes versus try to manage those mistakes on the fly throughout a game?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Early in this game, this second group brought so much energy and effort, you reward them a little bit more. Because they did come in and they answered it. That first group, they came out, they scored 4 quick points, but after that, defensively, they weren't that good. The second group played good defense, so that leash is a little bit longer.
1-point advantage here for Marquette. That's Amarian Ellis, the freshman from Davenport, who's checked into this game. Joplin working against Keyshawn Williams. Finds Iguodaro to Mitchell, driving. A little reverse lay-in is good from Mitchell. That was some acrobatic display.
There was multiple actions on that possession there. And anytime you get multiple actions, it's tough to guard.
So a 3-point advantage here for Marquette. Run a little weave out front for the Huskies. Keyshawn Williams. Defended by Mitchell. Crosses him over. Rises up from the free throw line, and he gets it to go.
Williams did a good job of reading the ball screen. Took his time, let the big retreat back to the paint, and then it was one-on-one.
The freshman Ellis with the basketball. Iguodala nearly traveled. Now gets it back out to Ellis. Right side to Joplin. Spin. Right elbow. Hankerson with it for Northern Illinois. Working that weave again. Williams slipped and lost the basketball, and Ellis takes it away. Another turnover on Northern Illinois. Here's Mitchell. The trailers, Cam Jones. Too strong. Joplin with the offensive glass. Mitchell thought about it. Now he'll take it all the way off the glass for two.
Second chance opportunity to get yourself an offensive rebound. Good things normally happen.
Stevie Mitchell making an impact on both ends of the floor here in this one so far. Hankerson splits the defenders and then throws it off the back of Cam Jones, who turns around and finds it. And now the Golden Eagles into the front court. Marquette into their half-court offense now. Iguodala flashes, takes it himself, trying to get it to go with the left hand. Did not hit the rim, doesn't matter. Stevie Mitchell has announced himself in this game.
He's had a couple of good possessions, to say the least. But that's what happens when you play with energy and effort. It's simple. Energy and effort is a talent. Not enough people realize that.
Mitchell has 7 early points. He's 3 for 3 from the field. There's McCoy, who drains the jumper.
And that's a situation David Joplin needs to make that shot a little bit tougher. On the face-off, get a hand.
Ellis crosses over in traffic to Mitchell. Mitchell driving again. Looks underneath this time. And the foul.
Multiple actions in a game of basketball is a good thing. When you have it, it creates openings. Stevie Mitchell is taking advantage of all the openings.
Next Saturday, all roads lead to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game with a potential playoff berth on the line for the Michigan Wolverines. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Michigan Wolverines in that Big Ten championship. There's a look at Northern Illinois head coach Rashawn Verno. And his first year at the helm of this program was at Arizona State with Bobby Hurley. Spent some time at Florida as well, Billy Donovan.
Yeah, we had a chance talking with him and shoot around. One of the things that, hey, we have to limit our turnovers. You know, a team that averages almost 17 a game, they've only got 4. Marquette's got 6. So they're doing a good job of making sure they're getting shots on their possessions. And that's why we're looking at, you know, being a 5-point game here. They've done a good job so far in the first 11 minutes.
Iguodala at the line for Marquette. And leaves the second free throw short. It's a 5-point advantage for Marquette. They have outscored Northern Illinois from bench points. As Iguodala went up, but the foul is called. Marquette has outscored Northern Illinois from a bench point standpoint, 15-0 in this game so far.
And this is, you know, you look at, there's a foul that they're going to have them with the body. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I thought Iguodala did a great job of getting the ball at the highest point as well. But that's what they've done a great job. Marquette's done a great job of protecting the rim so far in this game. Anytime Northern Illinois has had a chance to get into the paint, there's been somebody for Marquette to make that shot extremely difficult.
His second personal foul on Iguodala, so he leaves the contest. Prosper back in there. And this is your starting 5 right now for Marquette back on the floor. Four-point Marquette advantage, and now taken away. Keyshawn Williams rises up and throws it down. Oh, my!
Lane, my goodness. Not only did he just take the ball from Prosper, then to finish the way that he finished. Woo!
inside to Prosper. Knocked around. Queth comes down with it. And a foul on the floor whistled against Northern Illinois.
And you look at Williams. He gets a deflection, and then he absolutely takes off. That, my goodness.
That was a display of athleticism from Keyshawn Williams. Entry pass inside to Lewis. And Lewis will finish for two. 2 for 2 from the field for Lewis so far in this game. He has 4 points. Again, Northern Illinois working against that pressure from Marquette. And the three from the left wing, knocked down by Queth.
And Northern Illinois did a good job. They had the ball in the corner. They were able to work a sideline and swing it. Good offense now by Marquette to match the pressure that Northern Illinois had.
Keyshawn Williams gets it across half court. Hankerson driving. Queth trying to do it again. This one's short. And the rebound goes to Kohler. Lobs underneath to Queth, and Queth will finish.
Marquette's doing a great job of getting to the rim. Anytime Marquette's got to the front of the rim, just off a simple pick and roll action, the big is rolled right to the front of the rim. They've been rewarded.
Marquette has made 4 of their last 5 from the field. They're getting high percentage shots. Hankerson throws it away. And another turnover forced by Marquette.
Pick and roll is the oldest play in the book, and it still works, and Kirk Kenneth shows you why.
Five-point advantage for Marquette here as we get into the later portions of the first half. And Shaka Smart told us before the game today, 32-plus deflections. That's the goal for Marquette every single game. He did not feel like they played up to their ability on the defensive end against St. Bonaventure. Early statement today, he goes with a line change, and they played differently defensively since then.
Absolutely. That second group came in and gave them a bunch of energy. I love talking with Coach Martin because he goes, in our game against St. Bonaventure, there's some things that were understandable, and there's some things that weren't acceptable. He goes, and they're two different things. We got a little tired at times. We understand that, but there's also some things that were not acceptable in the way we played. And I love when a coach thinks like that, because you know that you're having conversation with players, and it's an open line of communication. And that's how you get guys to buy in, and that's part of the culture that he's trying to build here.
He had a great quote talking about life and playing defense, where he said, in life, do you want time? Do you want space? Do you want comfort? Well, that's what the offense wants, and you have to try to take that away.
Absolutely. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And it's so good, because in life, you want all three of those things. On this floor, you want all three of those things, too. And when you don't have it, it's tough.
Here's Colin coming out of the timeout. And a foul against Thornton. Just a deflection by Thornton out of bounds. Last touch by Northern Illinois. And it stays with Marquette. Mitchell gets it into Lewis here. And they swing it around to Morsell, who's been quiet so far. Mitchell in some traffic and traffic.
One of the things we mentioned the St. Bonaventure game, and they didn't necessarily they weren't able to play at their pace that fast, so they had to score in the half court. They didn't do a great job of that. That's one of these adjustments for Marquette over the next couple of games. Really try to execute in that half court when the defense is set. There you see the turnover when the defense is set. Just try to run some good sets, run multiple actions, and you're going to get a good look.
This is Austin, the Arizona State transfer. And it's knocked out of bounds and stays with Northern Illinois.
And when I talk about multiple actions, run a ball screen and then run a flare screen. Run a couple of different things. Those are the actions, versus just a pick and roll and then try to get something. Stacking on top of each other with different actions, and then you're able to get the defense shifted.
Austin, a little bit of trouble, finds Thornton. Shot clock winding down, and Kohler comes away with a rebound for Marquette. Kohler at Queth comes down with it and somehow feeds it to Marcel. Back to Kolek, and now Marcel with an open look. Oh, it's blocked. Nice closing by Queth. And now Lewis with it. The long jumper from Lewis is knocked down.
Really good effort by Marquette. You know what I love more than anything, though? They didn't stop. It could have been a couple of fouls, they thought, but they kept playing through it. The energy, like, that's key to having success.
Another takeaway. Mitchell. And a timeout on the floor. As Marquette starting to put a little bit of separation between themselves and Northern Illinois here. The Golden Eagles down early, but now enjoying a 9-point lead. Nine-point lead for Marquette here at Fiserv Forum. Shaka Smart's team got off to a little bit of a slower start than they wanted to, but have played much better over the last 10 minutes or so of game action. They're currently in the midst of a 8-0 run over the last 2:37.
And I would say the message was sent early when he had the hockey substitutions, all 5 out, brand new 5 in. And you can see the group now that's in, they're playing with a different energy.
You could feel it in the arena when you saw the 5 guys go to the bench. Everybody was pointing and saying, look at this. Message received so far. Lewis. Trying to back in Queth. And he threw it away right into the hands of Hankerson. Up ahead, here's Marcel. Lobs it to Lewis, who finishes. Lewis 4 for 4 from the field. He's got 8 points here in this first half.
Great defense leads to a transition opportunity. And then Marcel and Lewis finish it the way they're supposed to. Really good job by Marquette.
Keyshawn Williams. No good. Tried to lob it up ahead, did call it to Queth there and threw it away.
Great defense leads to great offense. And the finish by Lewis.
Tomorrow on Fox, we've got a huge doubleheader. First, Tom Brady and the Bucs battle the Colts or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, Matthew Stafford and the Rams take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. All on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the games in your area. And coming up on the Jeep halftime report, take a look at the Big East Mount Rushmore and the first half highlights. Jeep, there's only one. Marquette with this great defensive effort that we've seen just continuing coming out of the break, and they're getting the job done on the boards as well right now. They're really taking it to Northern Illinois on the glass.
Yeah, 17 rebounds by Marquette, only 6 total rebounds by Northern Illinois. They got to stop, turn the ball over if they're Northern Illinois, and then they got to be able to attack, try to get some second chance opportunities.
Here's Crump, who stepped on the line, and so another turnover.
Yeah, and when you look at that, it's their 8th turnover of the game. You want to make sure you get a shot attempt up if you're Northern Illinois.
One of the things Rashawn Berno told us was that the goal was to try to manage the deficits. You get into a 5-7 point deficit, that's okay. You can keep everybody engaged. You don't want to get into that 11-12 point deficit in the first half, and now this is what they're staring at.
Well, and especially the runs, right? Like Marquette went on a run there, and you got to try to stop that early.
Cam Jones, no good.
You can see Marquette's doing a really good job of switching screens, being active, making those catches very hard. They're catching them all the way out by the logo.
Thornton underneath. Rishi Hunter rises up. That's no good. And Lewis with the rebound for Marquette.
Marquette's pressure made Northern Illinois feel very uncomfortable that whole possession.
Pretty impressive finish from Tyler Kohler.
It was body control. He was able to get into the body of the defender, and then he was able to make sure that he finished through the chest. Really good finish.
Northern Illinois has not scored in the last 5+ minutes. It's a 12-0 run for Marquette.
And that's what Coach Berno wanted to avoid. These 12-0 runs, these 14-0 runs.
McCoy inside, and he breaks that drought. Lewis for 3. Lewis buries the 3. He has 11. And a timeout called by Shaka Smart after the make by Justin Lewis. He is feeling it right now. And that's been an improved area of his game this year is the 3.
The young fella adds this to his game. Watch out, Big East.
14-point advantage for Marquette. Coming up their first loss of the season. They lost on Sunday in the championship game of the Charleston Classic against a really good St. Bonaventure team that is ranked 16th in the country right now. It's been a very impressive start to the Shaka Smart era here at Marquette. And in control of things late in the first half right now. Marquette just so active defensively. Joplin cutting Crump off baseline, and now he's whistled for the foul.
And that's an example of a young freshman understanding I got to play aggressive. I want to play hard, but still under control. When you're trying to have your hands up in passing lanes, you can't give up an angle to the basket. And that's what Crump had. He had that angle just because Joplin was just a little over-aggressive.
Crump misses the first free throw. Just 6 for 11 this season at the charity stripe for Anthony Crump, the senior out of Inkster, Michigan. And he misses both. Joplin for 3. Knocked away. Last touch by Northern Illinois. Ellis and Hunter were both there, but it'll stay with Marquette. Lewis off the inbound. Now to Joplin. He's going to try it again. That one's in and out. And here comes Northern Illinois. Ankerson driving. Now kicks back out to Thornton. He resets with 15 of the shot clock. Thornton working against Lewis. Finds Keyshawn Williams. And Keyshawn Williams drills the 3.
And Greg Elliott helped a little bit too much. Justin Lewis did a great job of defending the switch. He had the guard on him. You didn't need to help. He turned his back. As soon as he turned the back, it resulted in a wide open 3.
Lewis doesn't go. Crump comes away with a rebound for Northern Illinois. Handling it all the way off the glass and the harm. So Anthony Crump showing some athleticism running the floor.
Really good energy by Crump. He's able to drive, take it to the basket, finish. Does a great job of finishing with his eyes. That's so important when you get contact. So many players are worried about who's hitting them instead of looking at the basket. And that's why you're looking at an and one opportunity versus 2 free throws.
Crump just missed a pair of free throws, but he does complete the 3-point play here.
Great response by Northern Illinois. Marquette needs to understand you got to play for all 40. You got to bring this energy constantly. It's been waves a little bit for Marquette this game. Marion Ellis.
And a foul called against It's Darwishi Hunter underneath.
Really good drive by Ellis there. He's able to have his body under control. He's able to read the defense. And his length, like the thing that I look at with Ellis is his length. He's able to be able to get down the lane, still finish over guys, or get contact. Like, the growth and development of Ellis is going to be something to watch over the next couple of years, because I think his ability, it's there.
Ellis is a high ceiling guy. He was the 91st ranked recruit in the nation out of Davenport, Assumption High School in Davenport, Iowa. And he's a guy that they are very high on. It's early in his career, but fast forward 12 months from now or 24 months from now, and he could be really special.
And you can look at it, just his body, right? The length of a guard and what you can do with it, how you can get in passing lanes, how you can handle the ball. Just, that's the exciting part.
You could tell talking to Shaka Smart today, he wants to find opportunities for Ellis to continue to get his feet wet, so to speak, and just grow as a basketball player. And he's had some early action in this one. Back on the bench for Ellis. Northern Illinois breaks that pressure. Hunter lobs to Crump, but it's out of bounds. And we've seen a lot of pressure here in this first half from Marquette off these makes.
And Marquette, that didn't result in a steal. It was a turnover, but that's why you press. That's exactly why you press, to be able to do things, to be able to, get turnovers, force a quick bad shot, force the tempo, just, make the flow the way you want it to play. There's so many reasons you have that.
Under 5 seconds remaining in the half. Mitchell finds Cliff, who leaves it in for 2 at the horn. So a nice final possession for Marquette, and they'll take a double-digit lead into halftime here at Fiserv Forum, the largest lead of the game for Marquette at 39-28. Here is some non-conference action.
We welcome you to the Jeep Halftime Report. Glad you're with us inside the studio. The always warm and friendly Jim Jackson, Coach Steve Lavin, Bill Raftery. I'm Rob Stone. We'll get you back out for the second half shortly. Yeah, that's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go.
It's early.
Jim. First, though, we're going to take an in-depth look at the history of Big East basketball with our halftime highlights, sponsored by Jeep. Here are your all-time Big East leaders in the major categories. Marcus Howard, over 2,700 points for Marquette. And then we got a lot of Syracuse logos over there. Ooh,
DC.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sherm with 960 assists. Zoe, the blocks. And Coach Boeheim down there with 745 wins. And, yes, 745.
I gave him a couple of those, by the way, just so you know.
Double digits, I guess?
No, not quite.
All right, so we're going to take this conversation to the Badlands of South Dakota, home of Mount Rushmore. Who are the 4 figures on the Mount Rushmore of the Big East? This was a brutal ask of all of you guys.
Well, in the old days, it was a first-name league. Rolly, Louie, Billy. I guess there's no Billy. That would have been me, I'm sure.
Billy Donovan.
I was elected president of the Big East Coaches Association because they all beat me. They loved it, the easiest way out.
Love to see Raph.
But having said that, there was only one John.
Right.
As in Thompson.
Big John, yeah.
And only one Patrick, as in Ewing, and only one Chris, as in Mullen. I don't know how the heck I put Jay Wright in here. He's too young. But, some pretty accomplished guys, would you say?
It's an impressive list. Jim's not good with numbers. You have 5 on your Mount Rushmore.
Wait. Well, I split because there's no way you can separate. I think Patrick Ewing and Chris Mullen have to go together. Because at that time, those two were so integral in the growth of the Big East, the star power. But I believe Chris Mullen, the only 3-time Big East Player of the Year. Think about all the talent that has come through there before the one and done. And he's the only one to accomplish it. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. So those 2 players, I think, combined as one. Dave Gavitt, for having the insight to be able to think about creating a basketball league, timed perfectly with the beginning of ESPN to be on national TV. That's how I became a Big East fan. And then Jay Wright. Just what he's been able to accomplish as of late, his lineage, the history, the players, the 2 national championships. Well, but it's hard to just dissect and just leave somebody. It's so many great people.
But talking about Dave Gavitt, which I'm glad you brought up, Dave was very instrumental in our family. He said to me, "I've watched you coach. You should try TV." So I give it a shot. So thank you, Dave.
The floor is yours, Lab.
It led to a great career, and we're here today. So a salute to Dave Gavitt. I think Gavitt really the equivalent of the Lincoln Monument. We know when it comes to Big East that Dave Gavitt is Mount Rushmore. But for the sake of today's conversation, I picked 4. If I knew there was the ability to put 5 on, I would have had Coach Carnesecca. We'll put him in as an honorable mention. The 4 that I picked, you know, all have national championships. That was one of the criteria. And they all were at their respective school for 20 or more years. I think Calhoun, in terms of what he did in stores, obviously Tarkanian in the desert, built an empire. Lute Olson in Tucson, built a powerhouse. But what Jim Calhoun did, 3 national titles, 4 Final Fours, and in stores, Connecticut.
By the way, the honorable mention list is like one of those old medieval scrolls where you roll out right here, like Sir Rip Hamilton, right? Sir Ray Allen. I mean, so many great names have come from the Big East. Enjoy the second half of your game after the break.
11-point lead at the half for Marquette over Northern Illinois. Time for the highlights brought to you by Jeep. There's only one.
Stevie Mitchell's been so good. He's been able to get to the lane, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He's done it in different ways, and it really came in with that second group and brought a great bunch of energy, and I think it's been huge when you've looked at this. The reason it's an 11-point game is Marquette has 10 turnovers. They've got to limit their turnovers in the second half.
First half stats sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Back for the second half. Back with you from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, an 11-point Marquette advantage as we get set for the start of the second half. Marquette did lead by 14 at one point in the first half. Finished with a little bit of a flurry and some good defense after a sluggish start early on.
And I think that's the biggest thing for Marquette. In a game like this, you got to come out right away. You can't take possessions off. You know, there's 2 or 3 stretches for this Marquette team where it almost just looked like they were going through the motions, and that's why it's an 11-point game. This should be probably an 18-point game, you know, in situations like that. I think this is a gift. The culture shock is trying to put into this group. That's why after the first 2 minutes, the starting 5 came out, and there's a whole new 5 set of guys come in. Like, you got to play hard for every single minute that you're on the floor.
Morcell, who's been quiet in this game. Now Kohler with the basketball for Marquette. Deflected and taken away. The 11th turnover by Marquette in this game. Keyshawn Lewis. Nice block from behind by Lewis. And it's going to go the other way.
Great adjustment by Lewis. He did a great job of sprinting back. He was able then to reach and get the block. Like, it's really good defense in transition by Lewis to make up for another turnover by Marquette.
Kohler cutting. Now driving in the paint is Kohler. Lewis backs it out, back into the corner, working on Williams. Kohler pulls up off the front of the iron.
And Lewis has got to let that fly. You know, he doesn't take the shot, and then Marquette results in that one. It is all based on just not having his feet set on the catch.
McCoy working against Clef. And good defense on the interior by Clef. Morcell. And a blocking foul is whistled against Northern Illinois.
Marquette's doing a great job. Kirkhead's doing a great job of slipping the screening action. Northern Illinois is having a hard time doing that. Everyone's going to see the drive by Morcell and say, great drive. No. It was a great slip by Kirkhead that was able to get Daryl Morcell open on that action.
Morcell has not scored in this game. He's just 0 for 2 from the field. Came into this game the leading scorer along with Justin Lewis, both in that 17 points per game area. Lewis had him by 0.4 points per game. He has been a great defensive player over the course of his career. Transfer from Maryland, where he was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year. Not a big offensive player in Maryland, but he has been able to shine in this Shaka Smart offense.
And he's shown that he can stretch the floor, shoot from outside, do a little bit of everything for this Marquette team. And it's fun to see growth and development from guys. Oh!
With a lob and then deflected. Zulquet driving, trying to go up over Quet. And a whistle.
And that's an area of the defensive end by Marquette that they're trying to work. And when they're playing in this trap and they fall back into it, they call it they've got to fix it better. You know, that's a situation where they didn't do a great job of fixing it. They were scrambling, and then when they scramble, it puts pressure on the rim. Got Northern Illinois attacks, and then there's the foul by Quet.
So Zulquet at the line.
St. Bonaventure did a really good job of putting Marquette in situations where they were scrambling. And then with talking with Coach Smart, he said we didn't do a great job of fixing it. And that getting back and making sure that we were matched up. And that was an example that they'll see on film as far as we need to be better about communicating on the defensive end.
Still an 11-point lead for Marquette. And Kohler is fouled, trying to take the ball to the baseline.
Got bailed out by the foul. Didn't love the pace of that possession. A lot of dribbling, a lot of standing, no movement. Like Marquette's got to play with great pace in the half court. That's one of the areas that they've got to show improvement in. Because the Big East play, they're going to lock in. They're going to get back in transition. They're going to have to score in the half court to have success in the Big East.
You hear that term a lot, pace and space. Those are two huge keys for any offensive system, but especially for Marquette.
Yeah, so they want to play fast and they want to play with pace. When they want to play fast, that's up and down. When they use the term pace, that's in the half court. And that ball's got to touch multiple sides of the floor. You want to swing that thing. That ball's got to be popping around, getting a lot of touches. It causes the defense to shift. When the defense is shift, openings happen.
Kohler blocked by Anderson, and then goes up again, and this time he'll draw the foul.
And then again, the possessions have just been a little hurt and jerk, right? Like there hasn't been a lot of that great pace. They're still finding ways to get to the free throw line. They're doing things to be creative, but it's just, it's herky-jerky right now. And I think that's the thing that Marquette's got to get a little bit better. Tyler Kohler does a good job of getting to the free throw line, making something when there wasn't really anything there. But it's all about setting that pace, making sure that ball's popping. You're getting bodies to move. You're making the defense shift so that when you do have a drive, it's a wide open layup versus having to go to the free throw line.
And we talked to both of these coaches before the game, and one of the things Rashawn Burnos talked about was the fact that they make their money in transition. That's what Marquette, that's their strength. That's how they're going to score a lot of their points, and so you want to try to force them into the half court more. But talking to Shaka Smart, he said, well, we have to be able to win multiple ways. It can't just be in transition if we're going to be a complete basketball team.
We know how good this Big East is this year. I mean, this Big East is loaded from Villanova all the way to Xavier, right? Like, they are loaded, and they're going to defend. And you've got to be able to score in the half court. And that's the St. Bonaventure game was a great example of that, where there's kind of just some video now, some film as far as what Marquette needs to do a little bit better.
Kohler throws it away.
Marquette's 12th turnover of the night.
Yeah, that'll be something that Shaka Smart won't love when this is all said and done. That'll be a teaching point, of course, for him. You were talking about the strength of the Big East, as evidenced by their performance in the Gavitt tip-off against the Big Ten, 6-2.
Well, and you look at it, and it started here. It started with Marquette and the great win against Illinois. It was. Illinois was being able to create 26 turnovers. Marquette was able to, but anytime, and there's another turnover that Marquette's created, as we talked about turnovers, right? That's why Marquette was able to beat Illinois, and they're going to continue to do that. They're going to give a lot of Big East teams troubles with the press and the pressure that they play with.
And this style, this is a great fan base. They support this program so very well, and this building can get really loud. And this style, as it goes along in the Shaka Smart era, could really get the crowd involved for these home games.
Oh, it will. It absolutely will. It's fun to play as a player as well, Lane. Like, players want to play in this environment. They want to play with this style.
Keyshawn Williams. Sean Burno trying to get everything set up. Now Thornton. Reverse lane, no good. Lewis up ahead. Here's Prosper, and Prosper will go to the line. You saw Rashawn Burno, the head coach of Northern Illinois, basically being a point guard as the head coach over on the sideline. That's just where this program's at.
Absolutely. And you look at Marquette's defense, right? Northern Illinois wants to be a little bit of that. Northern Illinois wants to get out and run. But Marquette was able to get out and run. Why? Because Marquette has been so good. There wasn't a block shot there, but he has protected that rim that Northern Illinois has struggled finishing. He's been really good at making sure that rim has been taken care of tonight.
So much that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. You look at blocks, but shots affected or shots altered matter.
Absolutely. And his length, you know, the guards are coming in, they're looking around, they're trying to figure out where he's at. And they're not worried about the basket. And that's why you're seeing him miss layups.
Back to a 14-point lead now for Marquette as Prosper, the Clemson transfer, knocks down the free throw. Kolick comes out of the game. Stevie Mitchell back in there. He was a star in the first half for the Golden Eagles. And Northern Illinois trying to break that pressure. They're able to do so. Queth with the basketball. Defended by Lewis over there on that right wing. Keyshawn Williams inside to Queth. And rejected by Queth. Back into the hands of Trump. One to shoot the shot clock. Too strong. Queth with the board. Here's Morcell. And now Mitchell with the basketball. Driving, spinning, kicks out to Lewis, thought about the three, into the corner, Mitchell, 7 to shoot. Prosper rises up from the free throw line, in and out, no good.
Probably could have gone one more to Marcel, and Marcel would have had a wide open back. They did a good job of creating a lot of closeouts, so Marquette was attacking. One more pass would have resulted in a wide open three for Darren Marcel.
For three. And Queth can really shoot it. He was the 4th best three-point shooter last year in the MAC Conference. And he knocks down that one. His second three of the night. He's got 9. Morcell driving. And he will be fouled, and you can count it.
Marquette's defense has been a lot better. And it's because Queth has been the eraser down below.
Hoops is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Marquette with a 13-point advantage over Northern Illinois, 46-33. The kids loving it here at Fiserv Forum. And Brian, when you look at Northern Illinois, one of the things that they're probably feeling, or will when the game is over, is missed opportunities. They've forced Marquette into 13 turnovers, but they have just 4 points off turnovers.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. A lot of what they've done, Marquette has turned the ball over. But they've done a good job of getting back on defense. And I think that's crucial when you've learned that. Like, the energy and effort to get back and defend is there by Marquette. And I think, you know, Northern Illinois, there's a lot of areas that you build upon, right? You're building blocks. When we talk with Coach Burno about this a little bit, he goes, we've got to take things and realize that we improved in certain areas. And, you know, a great example of Washington, they gave up 27 offensive rebounds. The next team they played was Indiana, who's a pretty good offensive rebound. They only gave up 11. right? So when you're a first-year coach, you're building a program, it's little things that you stack on top of each other to have your success.
So Marcel will try to complete the three-point play as he made the shot going into the break, and he will make the free throw. And so Marcel, who was very quiet in the first half, starting to get a little bit more involved here in the second half. And Marquette matches their largest lead of this game at 14. Into the corner, Keyshawn Williams back over to Thornton. 8 to shoot of the shot clock for the Huskies. Thornton goes all the way to the glass and lays it in for 2.
Marquette did a good job defensively in that possession, except for the last. Marcel has to guard his yard. He's got a one-on-one matchup. He's got to win that. You can't just have a straight line drive blow by. Marquette did a good job talking, communicating. That was a really good 25 seconds. And then all of a sudden, it was just a straight line drive by Thornton. And it results in an easy basket for Northern Illinois.
Darwishi Hunter for 3. Pinballs in and out. And a fight for the basketball between Chaplin and McCoy. And it's going to go against Chaplin. Well, we've seen this pressure from Marquette tonight, and it's a token of what we have seen really throughout Shaka Smart's career, whether it be at VCU, at Texas, and now here at Marquette. But it has changed over the years.
Yeah, and it has to change, and that's the thing with the way that the game is officiated this couple years down the road. Like, it's changed. You can't press as much. You can't. They're going to call more fouls with those situations, so that's why you've seen a little bit now. It's still very, very effective. And Marquette's doing a great job of using it to create some good stuff.
Marcel again here in this second half. He's got all 8 of his points coming here in the second half. And there is that pressure. Northern Illinois able to break it this time around. Keyshawn Williams, explosive off that baseline.
Really good job. Northern Illinois just ran a simple horns action, came off the right side, were able to drive, swing it to the corner, and then a direct, straight line drive. Good offense.
9 points now for Keyshawn Williams. Thornton, and tried to throw it through traffic, and Iguodaro got his hand on it. But the other benefit to that pressure that you get from Marquette is that even if you do break it, you don't have a lot left to work with shot clock-wise when you get into your half-court set.
You don't, and you see the deflection board here. Like that's what they want to do. So, yes, it's not the VCU havoc defense where they're there and they're pressing, because there would have been way too many fouls called now. But it's the deflections, it's the hands, it's all those that make it so hard to get into your offense. Like you said, with 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Chaplin for 3. Too strong. Williams with the board for Northern Illinois. Spin move and lost the basketball. It's going to be a jump ball. Williams a little bit out of control there, but will retain the possession.
Yeah, and you look at it, I mean, Stevie Mitchell again is able to get both hands on the basketball. It's a good defensive play.
They get it into McCoy. Crump, and he stepped in the line. Second time he's done that tonight. Over in that corner for Anthony Crump. 12th turnover on Northern Illinois. This is really a game so far that's been a lot like some of the other Marquette games. They have not been involved in many blowouts so far this season. At 5-1, Kolek hits the 3 in the corner.
And this is a game Marquette, again, they've got to play for all 40. Here's an example.
McCoy misses the dunk. And now here's Marquette again. Elliott to Chaplin. He'll try for 3 again. This time he gets it to go. And a timeout called by Rashawn Burno, and he is not happy with the officials. Marquette in control, up by 17 here in the second half.
When you think about Marquette, you think about defense, and you think about getting out and trying to get open threes. It's an area that they need to take advantage of. They were able to get the stop, and then in transition, I love how everyone sprinted to a spot, and Joplin is able to spot up and knock that down. Everyone talks about how good defense is, but when you sprint down on offense, you can get great looks just by sprinting to your spots.
Game-high 17-point lead for Marquette. And now, Northern Illinois trying to break that pressure from the Golden Eagles. They're able to do so. Here's Williams, and he lost it on the way up. And a whistle on the floor. And Williams is down in a little bit of pain, helped up by his teammates, and seems to be okay.
Williams has done a good job of attacking. We saw the monstrous dunk in the first half from Williams. Does a good job of attacking the rim there. When a team presses, what do you want to do? You want to find ways to put pressure on the rim. Williams does a good job, just straight line drive right to the front of the rim. Really good attack.
So one thing Rashawn Burno has to be pleased with is the aggressiveness of his team. They have not been timid tonight at all.
No, not at all. I think they've done a good job of attacking the press. They've done a good job of attacking the rim, finding ways to get extra chances.
Right there. Queth hustling and getting himself another opportunity.
And he just beats David Joplin, a young freshman. And right away you see him come out of the game and Coach Smart talking and teaching to him. It's a 14-point game. And as a freshman, in your mind, 14 points, we're okay, we're good. But those are the possessions in Big East playing that cost you a game, because maybe you have a 5-point lead, and now it's a 3-point game. Now it's a 2-point game because he made the free throw line. Everything like that, man, and now there's another turnover. This is where you've got to have your standards.
Anderson lost it out of bounds. 13-point lead for Marquette. The Golden Eagles have put some separation between themselves and the Huskies here, but plenty to work on both sides so far in this one. One of the things that Shaka Smart talked about was, this is early on. This is Game 7 in his tenure at Marquette, and there's a standard he wants his program to be at. It's a standard he wants them to play at consistently. And these are the moments in these games where this type of standard can be challenged a little bit, because you have a double-digit lead, you're getting to the second part of the second half, and sometimes with a young team, things can get a little sloppy.
And that's why you see in the media time came in a great time. Just regroup them a little bit. Understand this is how we want to play. Marquette's been down in a lot of their games. Now, they've fought their tails back and have won against Ole Miss. They've won against West Virginia. They've won against Illinois, even though they were down in all those games. But now they have the lead. And how do you play with the lead? How do you play when you're up by double digits? The standard that is set, it speaks volume, right? It's what's acceptable. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're trying to teach is this is the level we need to be at for all 40, not for 30, for all 40.
Easy to have your focus in a 5-point game, totally different in games like this when you're up 15. As Kolick draws the contact, and he'll try to complete a 3-point play.
Well, and we've seen him come out of the media time with a different focus right now. And that's what it needs to be, the drive, the attack. Like, those sorts of plays are the standard that Marquette wants to be built upon.
One thing we've seen tonight is incredible balance in the scoring for Marquette. You've got Lewis with 11. That leads Marquette in scoring. Kolick now in double figures. A quiet 10 for him tonight, but he has made the plays he's needed to in those moments. You've got 9 off the bench from Mitchell. Those came in the first half. So a lot of balance. This is a very deep team, and that's going to be interesting to follow as the season goes forward of what this rotation looks like when they get into Big East play.
And they're going to need everybody in Big East play. That's the thing about the Big East. This league is so tough that there are going to have to be players that step up every night for this Marquette team to win big games in the Big East.
Keyshawn Williams with the rebound. And at that point, the style Marquette plays, you need a lot of bodies.
Absolutely. That's why we get Greg Elliott back now for a couple games. Just another body that's been through the wars a little bit, that understands what it takes to play in the Big East. Those are crucial.
So McCoy with his third personal foul. 7th team foul on Northern Illinois. So shooting a 1-and-1 on the other end for Marquette. And it'll be Elliott to do the honors.
But I think this Marquette team, not a lot of people had them ranked and making a deep run and contending for a title in the Big East. That's not where they were. But early on, they've proven a lot of those naysayers wrong in what they're doing. And it's just, they're playing with great energy. They're playing with great effort. They're executing on the defensive end. They're ahead of schedule now. The schedule gets extremely tough for them. They've got Kansas State, UCLA. They go to Xavier on the 18th of December. It's a tough schedule, but that's what, as a player, you want those opportunities ahead of you.
Hankerson nearly traveled. And now foul's going to be called against Marquette. There's a date with Wisconsin in there as well for Marquette. And it hasn't been an easy schedule to start the year. We talked about Illinois. They play Ole Miss and beat them. West Virginia and beat them in Charleston. This has been a really challenging year one schedule for Shaka Smart.
And getting those wins have really helped the buy-in process as well. It's great to have guys buy in, but if you lose a couple of them, it's tough to come to the gym to continue to buy. Those wins have helped it. There's no question about it.
Validates what you're telling your players, right?
Absolutely.
Lewis puts it on the floor. Going strong. Spin move inside. Tries to muscle it home. And a foul whistle.
Lane, what I love about that is Justin Lewis could have shot the three. He did. A little shot fake created the opportunity to drive and attack. Understand the balance. We know that Justin Lewis, his next step is developing the three consistently. This year, he's taking a step forward. The Charleston Classic, it was good. He took the next step forward. Shot it around 40-some%. But still know what your strengths are. And Justin Lewis' strength is getting to the basket.
And he's not a volume guy. He's not going to take a ton of shots. He's 5 of 6 from the field. Plays within the offense. Lets it come to him. But he is a very complete basketball player right now. And he has 13 in this one. And that leads all scorers. The lob to Austin, and he misses the dunk. Iguodaro with the rebound for Marquette. Greg Elliott, extra pass in the corner to Morcell. He hits the side of the backboard. And it's deflected, and it stays with Marquette. 20-point lead now for the Golden Eagles.
Hey, stagger coming.
Cam Jones. Driving all the way. Off the glass for 2. Nobody stopped him.
You said it. Nobody stopped him. You turn that corner until somebody stops you. That's rule number 1 coming out of a pick and roll situation.
Jones with the takeaway. To Elliott for 3. Caleb Thornton now. Ten to shoot on the shot clock for Thornton. On the left side, Keyshawn Williams. And knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Iguodaro. Every single player in a Marquette uniform tonight has scored.
And that goes back to the balance that we talked about. Like the growth and the development.
And that's 11 players. That's not a rotation of 8. That's 11 guys that have played in this game. They get it into Hunter. Seven to shoot. Long three from Williams. And rattles in and out. Here comes Morcell the other way for Marquette. Morcell rises up. Too strong. Hankerson thought about the three, leaves it underneath for Austin, and Austin will lay it in. Chris Austin, who came with Rashawn Berno to Northern Illinois from Arizona State, played in 24 games last year for the Sun Devils. Here's Ellis into the corner, Morcell for three, and a whistle before. Offensive foul whistled against Marquette as Ellis picks up that foul. It's a 20-point lead. Shaka Smart has been one of the it coaches in college basketball for 12-plus years now. Great run at VCU. Tournament 3 out of 6 years in Texas, and now here back in his home state at Marquette. And because it is shopping season, Shaka Smart turned over a lot of this roster once he got the job, and a couple of the things on his shopping list. He got that leader in Morcell, that lockdown defender. Got the big man, and we've seen Queth really impact things on the defensive side as well. And then the A-10 Rookie of the Year from George Mason and Tyler Kulik.
And then you've got Prosper, the upside. Like, it's great. You talk about it, but 82% of the points, 79% of the rebounds, 79% of the threes. That's what he had to replace. That's what Marquette lost. So being able to go with the portal and do a little shopping, it was a good thing for Shaka and this team.
Shaka Smart, of course, had that great run to the Final Four with VCU. Made the tournament in his final 5 years at VCU, and then had a good run at Texas. But this was a job that I think for Shaka Smart always piqued his interest, coming back to his home state and getting a chance to coach Marquette. And his style is going to be fun to watch in the Big East. Here's Anthony Crump. Shooting a 1-and-1. And Prosper comes down with the rebound. We're talking about that shopping list. You just mentioned it. Prosper, another one of those transfers out of Clemson who had some experience coming to Marquette this year.
Played in 22 games for Clemson. It has that, ACC experience a little bit, but I think for him, it's about putting it all together now at Marquette. Like offensively, what can he do? Played in the FIBA U19, so he's played in meaningful games. Now, consistency. Can he do it night in and night out for this team?
Nice body control there from Cam Jones.
Absolutely, and that's another guy. Like his growth and development. Can he do it night in and night out, right?
Cam Jones, extra pass into the corner. It's blocked by Morcell. Or blocked, rather, by Hankerson. Morcell taking the shot.
That's a situation. I think you got to let it fly. There's no reason for the extra pass there. You're open. You're in transition. It's off a steal. You get a better opportunity of making that three than making an extra pass because the transition defense is running down. And they're trying to get everyone off the line.
Hankerson in a little bit of trouble. Finds Williams. Into the corner. Here's Crump for three. And Jones comes down with it. Morcell. And Northern Illinois getting a lot of deflections themselves right now. And now Thornton comes away with it, and he's going to lay it in. Give Northern Illinois a lot of credit. There's no quit, and they're hustling and still playing very hard defensively.
Absolutely. And I think that if you're coach, Bruno, that's what you want. You want to see the continuous fight from this team. And if you're Coach Chuck Smart, you want to say, no, guys, again, we're talking about standards. We can't have those lapses. We can't have those careless turnovers. And that's why you're seeing 3 new guys come into this game, because there's still 5:50 left in this game. And again, I think, if you're Marquette, it's about this is what we do. This is the standard. These are tough games now. 18-point game, it does have the tendency to get a little sloppy at times. And I love that Chuck is putting back in, Justin Lewis and Tyler Cole. Like, he's putting these guys in and saying, no, this game isn't over. Like, this is how we play.
We mentioned it earlier. We talked a lot about buy-in. In year one, that's always important to get everybody to buy in. And he talked about how young this team is. And he said, I've been really pleased with the buy-in, but because we have so many freshmen, that buy-in can only be so much, because they don't even truly have a great feel for just how much they have to buy in yet. They can buy in as much as they can, but there's going to be extra challenges down the road that'll kind of force more and more of that.
And as a freshman, I thought I bought into Bo Ryan. And by the time I was a senior, I realized, whoa, I could have bought in a whole lot more just because I didn't know. And as a freshman, they don't know.
Williams underneath. And Williams put together a nice game here tonight for Northern Illinois. He's got 10 as he goes into double figures. Make that 12 for Williams. And a kicking violation out front on Queth. Stevie Mitchell into the corner to Ellis, driving baseline, and a foul on the floor. Whistle against Thornton.
Stevie Mitchell did a good job breaking the paint, and anytime you break the paint, good things happen. Whether it's a layup, we saw him in the first half get layups out of it. This time there was help, so he's able to find Ellis. Ellis does a great job of driving, attacking that closeout, and he gets rewarded by going to the free throw line.
Ellis misses the first.
Lane, I think minutes like this for Ellis are so crucial as a young player. You look at the schedule they played, you look at the schedule that's ahead of them. Like, you got to play hard. You got to learn it. The best way to learn is to learn on the floor.
Mitchell trying to come away with it, but it'll be out on Marquette. And stays with Northern Illinois. Ellis, a young guy, we talked about it earlier, very high upside with Ellis. Just 1 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. Just still getting his feel for the game at this level. When he does, he could be another really good piece for Marquette as Lewis takes it away. Finds Mitchell. And now Colin missed off the side of the rim. Here comes Keyshawn Williams. Pushing against Colin. And the harm for Keyshawn Williams. He has been aggressive with the basketball all night long.
And that's when you look at the scouting report for Keyshawn Williams, it's drive, attack, get out, don't, make sure you stop him in transition. He's really done a good job of continuing to push it all the time. It's been a bright spot for Northern Illinois.
14 points for Williams on 6 of 12 from the field. Trying to make it a game-high 15. And he does. So Keyshawn Williams, 4 off his career high of 19 that he had against Indiana earlier this year. Offense here from Marquette. Lewis driving, doubled on the block. Gets it to Prosper. 3 to shoot. Mitchell rises up, a contested 3. Off the further rim, no good. And Northern Illinois comes away with it. Thornton with the basketball now. Williams, step back 3. Lewis with his 5th rebound of the game. Elliott now a screen out front, and it's It's actually going to be a foul whistle against O'Connell for Northern Illinois. It's a 15-point lead for Marquette. I mentioned it earlier, this balanced scoring attack from Marquette. You see Justin Lewis with a team-high 13. Kolek, Morcell, both in double figures. Mitchell had all 9 of his in the first half. He really impacted that first half. And that's going to be, I think, a theme for this team over the course of the year. Right now, Lewis and Morcell kind of the leading scorers for this team in the early going. But they have a lot of balance and a lot of guys that could really develop as the season goes along, too.
Yeah, especially with Big East play right around the corner. Again, we've talked a lot about it, but the game against Wisconsin, they've got Kansas State, UCLA, and then December 18th, they start at Xavier, which is going to be a great game in Big East play. So I think you look at it there, everyone's going to have to contribute for this Marquette team. Yeah, they got some big quality wins with Lewis and Morcell scoring a bunch of points. But I think with as deep as the Big East is and as tough of a league as it is, you're going to have to get everybody to contribute.
You think about Marquette, you think about crazy two teams not picked very high in the Big East Conference, but the talent is apparent on those rosters that they can really have an impact in the Big East race.
The talent is there, and that's the fun thing about what the Big East is built. Everyone knows about Villanova, but St. John's is good. Xavier is good. Providence, goes to Wisconsin, who this Marquette team is going to see, and beats Wisconsin at the Kohl site. Like, this league is so good.
You talk about Xavier, that's the team most people have in the top 4 predicting the Big East at the beginning of the year. And you got Colby Jones, who was really coming on as a freshman last year. Very talented player, but Zach Fremantle's back now. Paul Scruggs has played forever and been such a great floor general for them.
Well, and Xavier down the stretch last year didn't have Johnson. Nate Johnson as the shooter, and now he's back. And, he played well last night. So there's just this league. I didn't even mention UConn, right? Like, the league is so good. But as a player, that's why you come to a Marquette. That's why you want to be challenged every single night. You want to have those challenges in front of you, and that's what this Marquette team is going to have. And I think, guys like Justin Lewis will take a step up. Garrett Morcell will take a step up. But so guys like Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, great. Like, these guys, you'll see that balance scoring throughout.
Thornton lets Prosper fly by and lays it in. Jones gets it ahead to Mitchell here as they break the Huskies' pressure. Mitchell driving, and the body applied by Hankerson here. And Hankerson already in a little bit of foul trouble. Commits his 4th personal.
And you talked a lot about it, Lane, but Northern Illinois and their fight. I mean, this is still a 14-point game, and I feel like Marquette's kind of been in control the last probably 6 to 8 minutes here of this game, but they continue to fight. Like, those are great building blocks for what Northern Illinois wants to become and how they want to do. We talked about how they want to end up playing like Marquette at some point. Well, this is a great start to that.
And Rashad Berno said it's a resilient group. I've been impressed with their resiliency, but each time they get themselves into a matchup like this, they come away and they realize, I got to do more.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more I've got to do in practice, in film, wherever it may be, to get to becoming the player I want to become. Block. Now Marquette wanting to run. Prosper trying to lay it in. Taken away off the glass by Hankerson. Up ahead to Hunter. Playing a little too fast, and Mitchell comes down with it, and then he's fouled. They're updating the deflection board over at the bench. 44. And as we've told you a couple of different times, the goal is 32 plus. They had in the 20s against St. Bonaventure, so they have improved in that regard from the last game.
That was a nice 44. Those lines were straight. There was a lot of focus. I'm making sure that both of those 4s look the same. Like, that's a great number, but that thing was beautiful.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on that board. A lot of people are looking at it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to have a sloppy-looking 44.
Not at all.
John Williams buries the deuce. He has played well. He has 17 points in this game now to Keyshawn Williams. Elliott and Jones break the pressure for Marquette, and a foul whistled against Darwishi Hunter. Look at this.
I mean, this thing is straight as can be.
The first part of the four was a little bit of authority, too.
It was. And as soon as as long as there's 32 and above, you're good to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure to perform.
I'm impressed. Cam Jones at the line. You got one job.
That's it.
And you got to get that right.
And I would say A+ effort and execution, both of those.
You don't want to miscount.
No.
You don't want to have 44 and then the official stats say 43 or 45 when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
He's doing a great job. Locked into it. Who officially says that's a deflection? Is it totally up to him, you think?
We're going to have to get to the bottom of that. No question about it.
Hankerson off the glass for two.
But again, it just goes back to the culture of what Marquette wants to be about. That energy and extra plays and make sure you get hands in passing lanes. All of those things. Marquette needed a game like this. They really did. Most of their games this year have been extremely close. All of them have been extremely close. So to have one where you've got a little bit of a lead, where you can understand, hey, this is the way we want to play for 40, it helps confidence. It's a really good confidence builder.
Ellis whistled for the foul, reaching in on Hankerson. With 40 seconds remaining, so Marquette's going to improve to 6-1. I think there'll be a lot that they can take from this game, good and bad, and that's okay. I think early in the year, as a head coach with a young team, you wouldn't want it to be perfect. You want to have those coaching moments, if you will. As my partner just fell out of the chair. You all right there, big guy?
I am. The chair did just break there. Absolutely.
That was graceful how you caught yourself. The chair just broke. Does that count as a deflection? I don't think it does.
That doesn't happen, and that's not a deflection. No.
I was impressed with how you caught yourself.
Well, I used to be a player a little bit. I mean, I just stood outside and knocked out threes, so I could catch that.
Foul against Iguodaro as he reached over the back on the deflection. Look at that. The bolts came out of it.
The bolts came absolutely out.
Look at this. Those fell out of it, and you fell.
It's a straight break. That's amazing. We got a new one in. That's what happens when you got a good crew. Everyone's taken care of.
It's an exclamation point to this game. Brian Butch going down with a broken chair.
Everybody remembers you going down with a broken elbow when I played. Now I just go down with a broken chair. It's a lot better.
I'm impressed you had the pieces as well. I mean, you got to keep those. Final 15 seconds of this one. Marquette will move to 6-1 with the victory as Cam Jones will dribble it out. And they'll get ready for Jackson State and then get ready for Wisconsin next weekend as Marquette, a little sluggish start, but after they got that corrected, played pretty good basketball overall.
They did. I think that's the biggest thing is the first five came out early on. Coach Chuck Smart put in that second group, but then the energy picked up. A good win, a win that Marquette needed. They did it with a lot of class. Really good job.
A really good start to the Shaka Smart era continues. Only loss to a really good St. Bonaventure team. And I don't know that you could really draw it up much better than it has been so far for Shaka Smart. He's getting that culture really instilled.
Exactly. That's what you want, how you want to do it. This is what they're showing. This is the standards that they want to play at. And now they're getting ready for the big boys, Breezy next day, and then they're on to it. So
really challenging non-conference schedule for Marquette, and it will continue before they get ready for Big East play. 80-66, your final for our producer, Jeff Sermon, director, Deborah, and for Brian Butch, I'm Wayne Griddle saying so long from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.